Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I'm Dimitri and this is VIOFO Australia and Auto Gear Reviews, depending on which channel you're watching. Today we are lucky enough to have this amazing product to take a look at together. And this video is evidently sponsored by lovely people at VIOFO, the creators of this amazing video registrator, formal name, dashcam in the kind of colloquial terms of the folk, systems. It's a dashcam. It's a 3-channel dashcam. I would like to point it out to you. It's a high-quality dashcam as well. It's an upmarket product. It has a forward-looking 2K camera, backward-looking, optionally installed 2K camera, and it even has a third camera that is 1080p, and it can, even in the low-light kind of conditions of the interior of your car, be facing inward, if you can be bothered installing it. But I would dare say, if you're buying something like this, you're probably someone like a taxi driver, Uber driver, and you want full visibility, front, back, and inside. I've been overlaying now some footage. I'm sure you would agree that even side-by-side overlaying this footage with the footage from 1080p camera, the cheap ones such as 70mm camera you can get from something like AliExpress rather cheaply, and something slightly more upmarket, slightly more expensive but still 1080p, something like Lanmodo camera, which is great for its 9 vision sensor that does a lot better kind of light capturing during the low light conditions. That's what's good about Lanmodo. But you can see that quality wise, this is 2K and that is 1080p. I think I don't need to defend or talk too much about it. The quality speaks for itself. It's amazing. Now, as far as installation is concerned, again, there is a video available on Auto Gear Reviews channel, but it's an involved process. I would not call it a very easy installation, but neither would I call it very complex. Now, comparing, I kind of have to compare. So let's say something cheap and easy such as 70mm camera. It doesn't have a screen, it doesn't have anything, it just looks forward, it's rather cheap, you just plug it there, and if you're lucky enough to have a top USB port in your car, such as my Haval H6 had, then you can also use one of very short kind of cables, USB to USB, and connect it to the camera. If you are not lucky enough, well, you have to run a cable around an A pillar or somewhere there to connect it to typically a 12-volt outlet, the cigarette lighter, essentially. Yeah, that's kind of a default thing for dash cameras. And 70mm is not an exception. Lanmodo is not an exception, and neither is this camera either. It is supplied with plenty of cables, connectors, sticky pads for you to put the thing in place. Very detailed but not too wordy instructions that are easy to follow, schemas of how to install this thing, which is very helpful because you just look at that schema and it kind of speaks for itself. You don't even need to read much about it. It is not a touchscreen display, but it is clear enough display. I simply, as far as placement of it in this particular my new car, because it's a slopey kind of front windscreen and it's not a truck-like sort of a lot of real estate to put the camera and still not block your view, I had to hide it from my view behind the rear view mirror. That's kind of how I sit. So I don't necessarily see the camera when I installed it, but I'm happy with this installation because it's out of my field of view, completely out of my field of view. It's lovely. It's not a touch screen, but it basically, once you stop recording, so buttons there allow you to stop recording, to go back, to go forward, to enable Wi-Fi, to do a lot of things that I will tell you more about in the deep dive into this overview of the camera. But ultimately, you use the buttons to navigate it, similar to Lanmodo. Lanmodo is also, for a comparison, it's not like all cameras offer your tiniest display that is touchscreen. This is not out of ordinary, I suppose, but I'll point it out to you anyway. And biggest difference, again, like I said, is the quality of the recording, as well as the fact that it's supplied with ample amount of cables, so that you can basically reach towards the back of the car if you chose to install the rear view camera, because you have to run it for quite a bit across the whole vehicle basically, which is doable. I just haven't done it yet for this car. I'm simply testing it for myself and I'm loving it so far. I permanently attached it now to this my new car, and so far I'm very impressed, and that's what I'm drawing your attention to. What else is there to say? I'd like to kind of quickly warn you against maybe one thing that I discovered straight away. It is, if you're using any navigation systems in your vehicle, either it's built-in sat-nav into your car, or perhaps one of those wireless Android Auto and CarPlay adapters that you're using, the ones that I'm promoting as well in the description of the videos often, or even on your phone, I suspect, but mine was connected to the screen, yeah? If you, by default, the camera also has GPS built into it. It's an amazing thing because it embeds the location data into the recording in case it's of relevance, in case it's important to the person running this camera. It's a great feature. However, I have noticed today, firsthand, straight away feedback to you, if you allow VIOFO camera to keep running the GPS signal itself, however it works, I wouldn't pretend to understand exactly how it works. I can only tell you that it interferes with the GPS search that, say, Android Auto is doing. So it interferes presumably with my phone, but it might interfere with the built-in electronics of your car. So in order for me to maintain, to have the best of all worlds, to have the dash cam running today as I was recording this, as well as to have my Google Maps on my screen of my car, I had to turn off GPS within the camera, which is very easy to do. You just go into the settings and you do it. It's not a problem. And beyond that, lovely product, very well packaged, from a very well established brand, upmarket, not cheap, but here you certainly know what you're buying, and I've given you hopefully plenty of overlay footage there in the background to prove this point to you. And beyond that, yeah, installation itself is a bit involved simply because of the wires and because of how much stuff there is to potentially consider. I will be sharing with you my further thoughts on the Auto Gear Reviews channel, where I'll pretty much walk you through of how I installed it. Yeah, that is probably another thing to call out. It's not something as easy and standalone and self-contained to just plonk there and forget about it. It takes a little bit of thinking process for you, which is, I'll be happy to talk you through this again. Once again, very grateful to VIOFO for providing this test unit for me. I do not think I will personally bother installing the third channel looking inward here, but never say never. Maybe I will, maybe my situation will change and I'll really feel like installing the third camera. But I probably will run with this one channel looking forward, obviously first with this camera for a little bit longer, until I properly decide how do I want to run that long cable and connect it to the back of my car and record also as a second channel of looking back. But overall, great product, will definitely satisfy people who want a higher resolution as well as proper visibility, proper control of the safety of your vehicle, what's happening in front, what's happening at the back. And if you expect any shenanigans inside of your car because you're an Uber driver, my friend, I personally have not seen or heard of a better product, and I'm always open for collaboration and I'm always open to see if there is anything like that. But at the moment, I think so far this is super impressive, definitely a great product, and I encourage you to take a look at my links in the description of the video, which always, if applicable, provide discount codes to you. So take a look at what's there and and take you to the right place. And I always appreciate your support, because this helps me pay for this extracurricular activity of this channel in my life, and you are effectively buying me a coffee and getting usually these electronic products cheaper if you follow one of these links and find something that's good for you. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you very much for VIOFO sponsoring this lovely video with their VIOFO A229 3-channel cam. And I'll be speaking with you again about something else, cars or essential car electronics related, very soon. Stay tuned. Goodbye for now.